My name is Mrs. Mosindi and I'm a computer scientist. And today I'll be talking to you about decorum. Decorum is the ability to act appropriately within a given setting, meaning that when we're in certain scenarios, so for example at school, we're expected to behave in a certain way. We present ourselves in a way that is representative of the school setting we're in. So that way we're recognized for our abilities, our ability to complete work, our ability to be polite to our peers and our teachers, and most of all, our ability to learn, grow, and develop. How does this connect with leadership? How do we convert decorum to leadership skills? Well, one of the key things that we have to remember is that when we want to become leaders, we start forging our path as soon as possible. Right from when you're at home, when you're in the classroom, you know that there are certain ways in which you behave that will then set you on the path to be a leader. I'll give you an example. I once taught an 11-year-old who was in year 7 who decided that straight away she wanted to join the cadets. So she knew that from year 7, because you're not eligible to join till you're in year 8, there were certain behaviors she would have to conduct herself in within the classroom. So she was constantly helpful. She'd put books away, she'd be really polite, she'd help other students, she made sure that her grades were really good, and she always made sure that in a group setting, she was being helpful and engaged. I didn't realize she wanted to be cadets, and so she came to me later on and asked if I could fill in her form. And I saw that one of the requirements to become a cadet was actually leadership. She asked me for a reference. And of course, based on all the evidence that I had seen over the year, I made sure that I not only gave her a reference, there was a little box that said, is this person eligible to be a leader? And I ticked it more than once, yes, she is. Okay, so we're making sure that at every point in time, when we're working on our grades, when we're completing work, when we're interacting with peers, when we're interacting with teachers, there are certain behaviors and attitudes that we're exhibiting that let other people know that we're responsible, we're disciplined, we're engaged, and we're willing to grow, we're willing to develop. When we think about decorum, another important factor in leadership is about attitudes. When we think about our behavior, we need to be mindful of our attitude to learning, our attitude towards our friends, our attitudes towards the grown-ups around us, our attitudes when we are asked to do things, how we respond to that. Via our attitude, can we really then begin to cement the discipline it needs to become leaders? If, for example, as I always tell my students, I walk into the room as a teacher because we have to model the behavior we expect students to see. I'm a teacher who walks in the room and I'm on my phone. Instead of teaching my classroom, I'm on my phone. Hey girl, how are you? How does that look to my students? What's my attitude towards my job? It shows that I don't take my job seriously. It shows that I'm not engaged in delivering my lesson. It also shows that I do not care about my students. Likewise, when you as a student, you have the responsibility to show the attitude that you desire in order to become a leader. So your attitude towards learning has to be outstanding, your attitudes towards helping others, your attitudes towards taking on criticism of your work, reflecting on it, and then improving, which a lot of students find hard to do. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to cultivate all the talent, skills, and ability that you need to become a leader. And people think there are students out there that are natural born leaders. That is not the case. I'll give you another example. I had a young man, a computer science student at GCSE level, and he thought that he was just brilliant. He didn't need to study, so he always got the best grades. He did well, but he could be doing better, but he was holding himself back because of his attitude towards learning. He thought he couldn't learn anymore. And then there was this other student who just decided she was going to take him on. She was going to show him, even though she wasn't normally at the leadership in the top of the class, her attitude to learning developed. So she revised, she helped to teach other students, which made her know more, and she ended up for multiple terms becoming top of the class. And the young man started slipping down in lessons, which means he would do a lot worse at GCSE. So you see, it's not just about thinking, well, I'm a natural born leader, so I don't have to do anything. You constantly have to put the effort in by working on your attitude, that attitude of positivity, that I can. Anything is possible when I try. Resilience is part of decorum, and that's also a leadership skill. Self-efficacy, so you believe in yourself, that's another attitude, part of decorum that will apply to becoming a leader. So keep working hard. Decorum in leadership is also about taking responsibility for your actions. If you have been set work, for example, by your teachers in a group setting on your own and you're unable to meet up, you need to take responsibility for that and seek help where necessary. It is okay for things to go wrong as long as you're able to step up to the plate and accept that there is more you could do to apply yourself. Also, for example, if you happen to miss days of school for any reason, it is your job to follow up with the teacher and make sure that you're catching up on the work. For example, I send disadvantaged girls to school at the moment in Abuja, and some of the girls had missed school for a few weeks, so they were behind. They made sure they caught up with the other girls. One of them even missed the Christmas party to make sure that at the end of term they got the best grades, they had caught up. So all of these skills that we've discussed as part of decorum lead you on the path to leadership. And remember, you have the power from any age to start to set the tone of who you want to be later in life. Whatever you intend to be, a computer scientist, a doctor, an engineer, an artist, all of these things, all of these careers need responsibility, leadership, discipline. And you can set that tempo from now.